All right, guys, we're back at it. Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. And of course, thanks for subscribing. Continuing our trip in New York City, we're going to go to Brooklyn to try to reproduce some of the issues that we had last time we went to Brooklyn here with FSD version 13.2.7. Let's activate here. Once this car passes. And let it go. Specifically what we had in Brooklyn were the issues with lane centering, getting eerily close to cars on the side of the road, things like that, speed bumps, things like that. So I want to see if it has addressed those in full. As we know, the last drive we didn't fare so well for the 5th speed bump, our 5 speed bump in a row sort of test, which again is an odd test, but the idea is that if we get speed bumps right for that, we pretty much get speed bumps right for everywhere. And that's the goal here. What is happening here? This is just odd. Can we squeeze through without hitting the curb? Let's see. Oh, man. Let me give it some encouragement here. Because this car's... No, hold up. Go ahead. Let me see if I can get it to go. I can't get it to go. It's too tight of a space here. It didn't want to go. That's okay. It's tight. This guy with the forklift was trying to tell us to go. We had space. The car didn't think it had enough space to do it the way that it wanted to, and that's okay. A little first disengagement. I'm okay with that. It's an odd scenario. If he wasn't there, I think it could have gotten past the car. But the fact that that guy was just there with the forklift made it a problem. So what happens in an unsupervised manner when that happens? The car just sits there until the person passes. He could have passed me too, but he chose to stay there, and now we got ourselves in a weird predicament. But here we go, Brooklyn bound, Brooklyn Bridge right there. Almost no traffic, which is great. We want to see the route. We don't want to see the car dealing with traffic or sitting in traffic for hours on end. We want to see if it can conquer the route. We know it can get around cars. We know it can be in stop and go traffic. That's not the issue. The issue is the routes, the lanes, the markings, the signage, all that good stuff. Can it follow and adhere to that when traversing New York City? Bus lanes, no driving lanes, no parking lanes, no stopping lanes, turn-only lanes. Those are the things we want to see. So if there's not a lot of traffic, that's perfectly fine. I just want to see the competency of it completing the route. Took the wrong way. Look at that. It should have went up and went that way. It's taking a different path. Red light, please stop. Good job. Coming in kind of hot. So it's going to go down and loop around, as you can see here on the navigation here. Down, loop around. Zoom in here. It's going to go down, loop around. It could have just gotten on that lane and went up to the upper level, or to the to this level right here where the bridge is. But for some reason, it's taking an odd route, and that's okay. Green light, doesn't see it. It's hard to see. Some accelerator. So an encouragement, disengagement, and an encouragement so far. I think it was just too far gone, and that is just unacceptable. All right. 2 disengagements so far. That was just a crazy, nasty situation that I didn't want it to drive over at this speed. Has to do, I don't even know what it needs to do here. Maybe a U-turn? Oh, so close. Yeah, it's kind of, the navigation is kind of messing it up here. Doesn't quite know what to do. It's gonna try to get around. I'll let it go. Go ahead, go around this truck. Let it do its thing. So this is one of the issues that plagues both version 12 and version 13, and that there seems to be a disconnect. Oh, I should have flagged that one. Seems to be a disconnect between the navigation. I've not been flagging, by the way, too, so that's shame on me. But there seems to be a disconnect between the navigation and what the car wants to do. Oh, these potholes are bad. I'm sorry. It's just too much. And what I mean by that is the navigation will state, good job recognizing that as a parked car. The navigation will tell it to go one way, it chooses to go another way. Or the navigation will route it in a way that doesn't make sense, like it just did. So we were on the FDR, and we could have went right to the Brooklyn Bridge, just as it did the last time in 12.6.1, I believe. It didn't do that. It chose to go straight. The navigation had to go straight and loop around in a weird way that was closed, causing it now to reroute itself. So now we've added more time to our trip unnecessarily. And now we're going this other roundabout way with a few disengagements on the route, right? Let this car go. Yeah. You're welcome. Oh, goodness, that's bad. And just egregious potholes. So it just snowed recently. And obviously when it snows and you plow, you unearth potholes, bigger potholes, which is what I'm riding over a lot here, which can be problematic. So the thing I don't want to have happen is for you to drive unsupervised, fall asleep, wake up, and you got a flat tire. You're sitting on this in the middle of the road because you're running over giant potholes. So pothole avoidance is going to need to come one way or another. But so far, not off to a great start, but let's see how it finishes. Starting to drift a little bit this way. Don't like that. Not a good indicator. I'll flag that one since I've been slacking on my flagging. All right, this is the turn only lane. Wow, it needs to be in the straight lane here. Now it gets over. It should still get over, it's still turn only. So still some issues here. A little late, but I'll take it. Wow, this is really close. This guy's just really close to us. Good job not taking the light like that person did. Thought about getting in that lane, decided to turn from this lane, which is an improvement over the last build for sure, or the last time we were here. Good job. Now let me see if I can force it down the path that we took the last time past the Barclays Center. I don't think I can. Well, we're going to pass the Barclays Center anyway, but I took a little bit of a deviation. Let's see if it allows me to do that. No. Just based on traffic, it's not going to let me do it because it's not going to propose an alternate route because traffic isn't here, which is fine. We'll just go straight and just see what it does. Or I'll force it, actually. Maybe I can force it to go on that same path and see if those issues are fixed. So I think the speed bumps only exist on that road. So once we pass Barclays, there's that right turn that we need to make. I'll make that right turn and then let the navigation continue from there. Here's where I'll force it. Let the navigation take the rest. Wants to kind of continue to go straight. I'm going to force it to go right. And let's see if I can reroute it down that same path. See what happens here. It's going to try to take me back on that other path. So one more street up is where I can kind of try to force it to go straight down this street to get to our destination. It's not the fastest route. I may need to take it off a hurry mode just to see, because hurry's going to try to find the fastest path, and the navigation is also going to try to find the fastest path. But let's just see what happens once I make that turn. Yeah, it's going to try to bring me back to the main street. There's some weird construction here. Wow. Oh, here we go. Okay, there we go. So now we're going down the same path we did before. These tight streets, a couple speed bumps, but cars parked on both sides pretty tightly. Cars started to drift under the same conditions whereby it had been driving for a while, driving through Manhattan, whatever, got to Brooklyn and then just felt like it was fatigued. Obviously it's not fatigued, but it just felt weird and it was drifting to the left side of the lane. Put my cameras up. Cyclists are out. Cars double parked just like before. I want to keep an eye on lane centering here. Oh wow, in the middle of a commercial. All right, guys, sorry about that. Camera totally died on me. So to switch up cameras for a minute. But let me resume here. Just pulled over where the video cuts out. Just pull over here, let it pull out and do its thing. Can it make it? It can make it. Good job. Right at the end of the video, the camera cuts out on me, but all good. Ready to go. No disengagement there. That was just the camera doing its thing, squeezing through tight. Okay. Good lane centering here still. The next block, I think the lane lines kind of go away, so it gets a little bit weird. But so far, the lane centering has been good. This may be resolved and fixed. I think 2 more blocks, it gets kind of weird, where the lane lines go away. not the greatest. It can turn on red. It's kind of all clear to do so. Take an extra caution to look around. Car is coming now. Definitely should have decided what to do with that yellow light a little better. I flagged it. All right, guys, no, I didn't blast off into space. Had a little camera issue again, having some camera technical difficulties here. But we finished the drive, we got to our destination. We just made the left where the camera kind of fell out and kind of got displaced. Had to change out cameras. We'll get all that technical stuff sorted. But in terms of the overall drive, it felt pretty good, but it also felt very odd because it felt like the car didn't know where it was going based on the navigation. Just getting on the Brooklyn Bridge seemed problematic. Could have just jumped right on the highway the way that it did the last time we went here and been right there. Jump on that main ramp and been on the bridge. It chose to take a deviated route, which also had construction in the way and some other block roads, which made it seem a little bit more unsure of itself. All the maneuvers that it did, it seemed competent, deliberate, and confident in the fact that it was doing it, but it just seemed like it was going a route that it was unsure of. And that was what I think was the difference in that regard. So in that regard, I'm going to give it 3.5, 4, somewhere around that range, where it was very smooth, but it also was very unsure of the direction it was going. Okay, and then when I made it deviate and forcefully go down a certain path in terms of regressions, it seemed to have correct those regressions of leaning too far to the left side of the lane drift, if you will. Didn't seem to have those issues. We didn't go over the speed bumps on that one, but you know, it should have done it the same. It failed the speed bump back in our last video, but just in general, I think it's still very competent, very good, very much familiar with 13.2.6. but also bringing some little adjustments here and there in terms of certain things that it does and doesn't do. I'll give it some more drive, some time behind the wheel or behind the yoke and drive to see how it does. All right, so until the next time, enjoy your day, enjoy your Tesla.